All right, guys, welcome back to Politics Gaming. Today we are doing our first post 5,000 subscriber live stream. So again, congratulations. Thank you guys for everything that you guys have done. Thank you for being a part of my first 5,000 subscribers. That is a massive goal that I cannot believe that we just passed. I want to thank Ready Go Politics. I want to thank Gen Z Patriot, Carlos Gomez, both of them, all of them, for helping me out. It's just an amazing goal that I never thought that we would pass, but we passed it. As of right now, we are now at 5,020 subscribers. So even from last night, we have gained 20 subscribers since last night. So again, guys, thank you so much for being a part of my first 5,000 subscribers. That is again the best goal. So yesterday, July 4th, we gained 47 subscribers. You know, we were actually pretty like just down low. I mean, we were like, making 3, 5, a couple, like a handful a day, maybe like 5 at most. And then on July 2nd, I got 9, but then on July 3rd, I lost 1. So I lost like about 11 subscribers on July 3rd. And then on July 4th, we literally just like boosted. It was like a godsend that I got 50 subscribers that day. So again, thank you guys so much for subscribing to this channel. I cannot believe that we hit 5,000 subscribers. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road. So today we're going to be playing a little known game that a lot of people have been requesting for me to play. Let's go ahead and turn this music down. We're going to turn the master volume down a little bit. This is going to be a first look. So I've never played this game before. So I have no idea what I'm doing. Essentially what I'm expecting is kind of like Tropico. So the definition of suzerain is basically you're governing a country that is essentially autonomous. Like there's a whole like encyclopedia definition for suzerain. If I'm saying that wrong, let me know. I shared your channels with my friends. Thank you so much. Who will win the 2060 elections? Richard Nixon? I would say Richard Nixon. You know, the head of Richard Nixon. You guys get that reference? It's awesome. Some of you may be too young for that reference. I hate saying that. Let's go ahead and start a new game. So apparently this game has an autosave feature, but I cannot load the previous save. So it's not going to be like a okay, so you're in my enslavement and my freedom. You're in my flesh, burning like a raw summer night. You are my country. Nazim Hikmet Ran. Okay, so 1908, Kingdom of Sorland. You open your eyes to this world. You came from a wealthy family in the city of Lashfin, a middle-income family in the city of Holzward. God, it's like the Lord of the Rings here. Or an impoverished family in the city of Dayur. All right, so should we be wealthy, middle income, or should we be impoverished? Go ahead and let me know. So I guess it's a timeline that we play through. Again, I barely have information on this game. I don't really know the premise. So it's thankfully, I guess there's no spoilers coming from me. Congrats on 5,000 subs. Thank you so much. I'm also thinking middle income. I'm also very much thinking, what's with the dislikes? There's dislikes? What the hell, guys? There's dislikes. Probably because I'm cracking my voice, but man, you guys are dislikes. Oh, you guys apparently heard that. Yeah, there's 6 dislikes. What the hell? Guys, go ahead and like this. Go ahead and like it. I don't know why. All right, so, let's go ahead and figure this out. So, are we wealthy? I'm gonna say middle income. Middle income. Yeah, people are saying middle income, even though that's only 2 people. I'll go ahead and do middle income. It's bots. Huh. I never heard of dislike bots. Your parents named you Anton. As the only child of a diligent civil servant, you lived quite an ordinary childhood. Life was not bad. You were lucky enough to attend a well-known public school, but frequent fights broke out at the Rain family home. This made you feel uneasy. The years passed. September 9th, 1923, during a history class at school, the bells started to ring unexpectedly. You heard a loud commotion outside. As everyone tried to figure out what was going on, the principal announced the historic revolution. Kingdom was no more. The Republic of Sorland was born. You did not fully understand. You were happy with the day you were happy that you had a day off, or you were somewhat worried. Okay, so this is basically a role-playing game, so I actually might have a little bit of fun with this. So we were born in 1908, and then it's 1923 now, so I didn't fully understand. 1926, after graduating, you passed the university exam with high remarks. You had the opportunity to choose between several studies. You chose law, economics, or history. So law at the Holzort State University, economics at the Lashavin Business School, history at the Daur University of Culture. Law, economics, or history? I'll do economics. During the first year, you attended a lecture with David Weishi. I'm skewering these names right now. I apologize. This was a well-known diplomat from the foreign ministry and a son of the president. After observing the hall in silence, he explained why a market economy is a better option for Sorland. He argued for a system where prices for goods and services are determined by the open market. You agreed in principle, you questioned what you were being taught, or you were only concerned was passing the exams. I guess I don't know if this is going to be the way where it's just kind of like, yeah, this is going to be like our ticket to becoming like Nicholas II. I guess we'll go capitalist. Okay, so it is 1927, May 22nd, 1927. Soldiers entered the campus an evening ahead of the first election. Many were in shock at the uniformed men created a security cordon and started arresting teachers. A group of students started gathering in protest along with your best friend, Peter Vishern. You decided to protest with the students or avoid any confrontation. So are we going to be pro-Republic or are we going to be anti-Republic? Because I'm starting to feel Tiananmen Square vibes right here. Go ahead and fix the volume on this real quick while we make that decision. The coup of 27 is what it's called. So it's a new beginning, the formation of the Republic, and then the coup of 27. I'll go ahead and protest with the students because if you guys actually didn't know, Deng Xiaoping is actually a protesting student in the People's Republic of China. It's very loud. Okay, so down goes the volume. Is my voice loud or is the game loud? Music is very loud, okay. So, down goes the volume again. Okay, so one of the officers made a loud announcement that they echoed through the campus. General Luderin declared martial law in order to restore the administration. Please stand back and disperse to your rooms. He joined the students that slowly marched toward the large group of soldiers. Suddenly, the soldiers charged. The student fell and was trampled as everyone started running away. You held your ground or you ran off. You held your ground. The soldiers beat you relentlessly. It was a gloomy year. Yeah, wait until they figure out that I just became president of SUZERAIN. The majority of the students and teachers displayed their opposition. Thus, Lashavin became a target for the military regime. You didn't want to stay idle and decided to join a human rights group, student council, or a political debate group. Let's do political debate. Dozens of debates helped you hone your oratory skills while also helping you grow your network. Even though the debates were pretty heated between different groups, you all grew from sharing ideas. Now, that's essentially what I like to do. I like to grow in sharing ideas instead of just sitting there, even if it gets a little heated. In one of the meetings, Peter introduced you to one of his friends, Monica, who is a volunteer from the Swedish League of Women. You were immediately attracted to her intelligence, her beauty, her diligence. See her intelligence. The politically charged environment led you to join the Red Youth, the Socialists, join the Young Swords, the Nationalists, or stay away from any political organization. Let's go ahead and do the Nationalists. What's going on, Christian Populace? Welcome to the live stream. Guys, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let's go ahead and beat these the dislike bots. For some reason, I just go live and then I just get like a ton of dislikes. Let's go ahead and fix that immediately. June 22nd, or June 2nd, 1928. This is the Swedish Civil War. The radio relayed that the communist general Ricard surrounded Lutheran and his troops, demanding their surrender. They refused, and heavy fighting broke out across the country. He just couldn't believe it. The army was fighting amongst themselves, and then Sorland plunged in chaos. You have 9 likes and 5 dislikes. Yeah, I'm not watching the dislike meter right now. Ricard's sudden attack caused even more bloodshed in the country. He seemed different compared to the fascist Lutheran. In your opinion, however, he was more of the same. If you participated in a protest march, you were chanting "One nation, one system, one people." And the chaos, we want stability, or united we stand, divided we fall. One nation, one system, one people. You were marching against Ricard. The students and soldiers supporting the group gathered a few hundred meters away. Many socialists were among them. You knew something was going to happen. You stayed or you left. Stay. It's like a brave nationalist right here. There's a massive clash between the two sides. Soldiers began to beat the students. Tanks started rolling forward. In this chaotic moment, you saw the young girl about to get run over by a tank. You ran to save her. You warned her. You ran to save her. But you couldn't reach her in time. You never forgot her face. Clashes escalated into a full-blown civil war. The horrors made you isolate yourself for a while. Monica helped you cope, and love between the two of you, and love grew between the two of you. Can't read right now. However, it was a difficult time for love. Chaos must end. 1929, the Republic of Sorland. Charismatic Colonel Tarquin's soul orchestrated a sudden coup and brought an end to the chaos. He wrote a new constitution and restored stability. The people saw him as a savior. He formed the United Sorland Party and ran as a presidential candidate in the first ever elections. You voted for the United Sorland Party. You did not vote. Let's vote for the United Sorland Party. The USP won the election by a large majority. After graduation, you kept seeing Monica and noticed her interest to marry. However, a letter arrived from military calling you to fulfill your compulsory service. It was time to serve your national duty. Dang, now she's gonna cheat on us. 1930, the Wayland Civil War. Devastating civil war broke out in the neighboring country, Wayland. The distinguished majority, Losev Lancia, ordered you to lead your squad on a patrol mission. It was a very cold winter night when you began marching out of the Umrin outpost. You see your breath. After several hours of marching through the snowy hills, distant noises were heard. Visibility was too low to confirm its source. SWAT crawled forward in formation and found a spot to observe. A group of refugees had made it beyond the border fence. You escorted them back and let them slip through. Escort them back. Because he's a nationalist. We're basically playing as a nationalist right now. The refugees were in despair when they realized you were taking them back to the border. Screams and protests ensued as they were restrained. You delivered them to the border guards. After several months of military service, your duties ended and you went back to civilian life. You and Monica, so in 1931, you and Monica decided to share your lives together after receiving the blessing of her parents. The ceremony was held in Holzord. During the same year, you were offered a high-paying job at the governing United Sorlin Party. It was an important start to your career on a good foot, so you accepted it. Working for the ruling party was easy path to power. Financial compensation was too great to pass up, or it was the best opportunity to change the country for the better. Let's go ahead and do that. Became the economics assistant to one of the more experienced members of the assembly. You worked long and hard, staying at work, investigating hundreds of pages of economic reports. We're climbing the ladder. It is now September 1933. This is Seoul's second election win. Seoul strengthened the republic by removing the institutions and symbols of the former kingdom from society. Things were also looking up for the country as a massive economic boom continued. People were happiest they had been in a decade. Election time came and it was time to decide. President Tarquin Seoul was elected once more. April 2nd, 1934, World War II's upon us. The new 5-year plan was subsequent work regarding finances put you under a lot of pressure, but your significant contribution to the economic strategy triggered an invitation to meet President Tarquin Seoul himself, who offered you a key position. You were become the youngest member of assembly. You accepted right away. You accepted with doubts. June 1938, Seoul's third election win. As the youngest MP, it was difficult to connect with the influential inner circle. You needed allies, so you brought in Peter as your right-hand man. The birth of your son, Frank, provided a brief moment of joy and relief. You sacrificed work to spend time with your family, or sacrificed family to improve your position in the party. Thanks. Let's do family. October 1941, during your absence, Peter found trustworthy contacts and strengthened your position in a party. At the same time, President Seoul increased his authority over the years. His growing ego started to cause strife within the party. Cracks began to show. So that was his 4th election win, and now 5th election win. President Seoul barely secured a majority in the election against the opposition leader. Over the past year, people were growing discontent with corruption and worsening quality of life. Meanwhile, calls for United Sorlin Party Congress became louder as the leadership struggle started to brew. You watched from the sidelines, you kept supporting the president, or joined the internal opposition. Let's go ahead and join the internal opposition. You gave your support to Elwin Alfonso, a reformist and talented business magnate, who was the main contender for party leadership. Meanwhile, in a desperate effort to secure votes before the Congress, President Seoul was meeting party members one by one, but he didn't approach you. Party Congress is nothing short of impressive. The banners of United Sorlin were decorating every possible spot. Thousands of influential political figures, lobbyists, and benefactors gathered for this turning point. The voting for the party leadership began. You voted for Seoul, or you voted for Elwin. Let's vote for Elwin. September 1st, 1946. The efforts bore fruit, and as a contentious leadership was vote was won by Elwin Alfonso. During Congress, Seoul announced his retirement from politics. He knew the structure he had established was to stay. The country had become increasingly authoritarian. You were happy to see Sol was finally leaving. You were troubled by the departure of Sol, or you didn't care who was in charge? Happy that he was finally leaving. A month later, your daughter was born. Monica named her Diana. She motivated you during a tumultuous period at the party. General elections were approaching. The United Sorlin Party was under new leadership of Elwin Alfonsi. You joined the party effort and campaigned for him. You did your best not to. Let's just continue to support the party and whoever they're nominating. Hopefully we'll just get thrown in there at one point. Sol resigns and Alfonso elected. During the elections, the main opposition leader was embroiled in a sex scandal with the secretary, diminishing their chances. The extensive privatization program proposed by Elwin Alfonso secured an election victory for the United Sorlin Party. Over the next few years, you did your best in order to make Sorlin a better place. Tried all that was necessary to climb up the ladder, or dedicated yourself to the party and its success. Just climb up the ladder. 1951, economic crisis. The presidency of Elwin Alfonso saw many bold reforms, but was followed by serious economic recession. The other parties announced their bids for the 1953 election, but unfair system hampered all opposition efforts to win. You thought your party could not survive another crisis, were worried about the economic recession, or worried that your reputation would be tarnished along with Alfonso. Thought that your party could not survive another crisis. Together with Peter, your presence in the USP grew, and you became the face of the new wing of the party. Effectively took over the leadership as president. Alfonso lost control of the country. The moment to make a move had come. You blamed Alfonso for the crisis on television, bribed and extorted Alfonso's inner circle, or advised Alfonso to step down. Let's advise him to step down. He didn't take your advice seriously and started to reshuffle his cabinet, but most of his inner circle abandoned him. Your diplomatic attitude made the party vote you in as the leader. Following this, you announced that you would be running for president in the general election with Peter as your running mate. With the study of student MSc, I was starting it, or a October 1953 elections. After visiting every city in town during the campaign, you made a speech on state television. You promised to enact democratic reforms or preserve national values. Great nation of Sorlin, due to the incompetent leadership, enemies both internal and external are influencing our glorious nation. Today, more than ever, we need to unite under one flag and protect our values. Gracie Sorlin. Broadcast ended. November 5th, 1953, on Election Day, millions went to cast their votes. It was time to face the truth. Chapter 1, President Reign. So finally we get, I guess we get to choose our man. Movie star, rebellious, stylish 20s. Yeah, let's just make him into a whole ass Saddam Hussein. So Anton Rain, 4th president of Sorland. You'll not be able to change how your president looks from this point forward, are you sure? Yeah. Okay, so economic election promises. As Anton Rain, you have made promises to people of Sorland in order to gain their votes. They must be considered carefully. Very carefully. Economy. Sorland's economy has been based on planned doctrine since its formation until the former president, Ellen Alfonso, enacted free market reforms. Now the country finds itself between two different economic systems. So are we going to promote free market, or are we going to promote planned economy? And then diplomacy. The intensifying global rivalry between capitalist Asia in the west and communist United Contana in the east is opening new diplomatic possibilities. Sorland could take steps to align itself closer to one. So we could go west, east, or neither. And then immigration. In recent years, Bludish, Wazik, and Angolanian, God, these names. Immigrants flocked to Sorland due to relaxed immigration laws enacted by Alfonso. As a result, tensions in between the swords and immigrants have been increasing. So keep immigration relaxed or tighten immigration. Okay, so we're gonna go free market, aligned with the West, tighten immigration. Term focus. We have also promised to focus on a certain extensive subject within our first term. People expect us to solve the negative situation within this topic while providing an overall improvement to the related policies. We have health, education, law enforcement, and military. Congratulations, I expect a cut of YouTube money now. Yeah. So health. Since the 1940s, difference of service quality between urban and rural hospitals has been getting increasingly worse, and the average life expectancy has dropped significantly. Education. The lack of schools and teachers and even classroom equipment in certain areas cause massive gaps in previous robust education system. Law enforcement. Increased crime, pushing law enforcement to their limits, while judges and courts deal with a huge and expanding backlog of legal cases. Military. The military protects the country from hostile threats, while some see it as a massive financial burden, others argue as a critical deterrent. Alright, see ya, Ant. Thank you so much for gifting me this game. I appreciate it. I guess we can go ahead and we're gonna focus on health or education. Promise will be remembered and they will have consequences. Are you sure about your decisions? Yes. 2 weeks have passed since we won the election, and now I was about to be sworn in as the 44th president of Sorland. Thousands were watching the inauguration ceremony and cheering my name, Anton Rain. Die was cast. Die was cast, and there my story began. In the distance, the Maroon Power stood atop of the famous hill of Pride. Had no way knowing what future awaited me here. I looked at my family, my son and daughter Frank and Diana, next to my wife Monica. Our eyes were glimmering with pride. Then I turned toward key people who made it all possible. Of course, each individual was promised an important position in the cabinet. As my thoughts slowly faded away, the reality of the situation dawned on me. Orso Hawker, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, was waiting for me. Time for the oath has come. It has indeed. You can click on the colored reds and it'll show what they are. Okay. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear. I do solemnly swear. I do solemnly swear that I will respectfully execute the office of President of Sorland. And to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend. And to the best of my ability, preserve and protect and defend. And to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the people Constitution of the Republic of Sorland. You may now deliver your inauguration speech, Mr. President. It is an honor. Dear citizens of Sorland, crowd look very eager to listen to me. Current dire situation. You're enduring an economic hardship like never before, and today our nation is falling apart. Our people, we suffer in this dire situation. We stand together, we prevail. In the past, there have been times of survival, times of conflict, and economic hardship too, but whenever we stood together, we prevailed. I promise you we will stop the recession, eliminate poverty. It's time for a night united and powerful Sorland. United and powerful Sorland once again. Hundreds of thousands cheered, they were shouting my name in unison. I felt the responsibility, power, and burden all at the same time. Raise fist. I took a long look at the people of Sorland to burn this moment into my memory. One of the presidential guards came by to notify me it was time to leave. I made my way to the leading car in the motorcade. The presidential state car was a jet black Cadillac with the flag of Sorland above the front headlights. Next to it, a man was holding the door. Hello, Mr. President. Still under effect of the speech I made. Hearing my new title made me smile. Can you allow me to introduce myself? I am Serge, your new driver. It's a pleasure. Pleasure is all but mine. He respectfully bowed his head before opening the car door and gesturing inside. I entered the car. We'll be heading toward the palace. The motorcade began to move. On the way, Serge proceeded to explain his duties as a driver. As minutes passed by, I found that I lost myself in thoughts again, barely paying attention to what he was saying. He suddenly made a gesture towards the now closer palace. Isn't it a beauty, the Maroon Palace? It's where the executive branch of the Sortish government is situated. It is constructed to serve as the summer residence of Albert Renan, but quickly became a structure of political importance. The turning point was when the Kingdom of Sorland was announced from the balcony of the palace, reflecting the shift of government from the Alori to the Holzord during the transition period. Maroon Pounds received a name from the maroon painted. That's really cool. Underneath the structure is a high secure situation room where the president is safe from any danger and evaluates any security crisis. We have Assembly, Supreme Court. Torso Hawker, so it's the characters. History, timeline, ideologies. Important events. Political parties. We are a part of the USP. That's so cool. He was right. Sunlight glinted off the palace's many maroon-colored domes. It was so bright that I had to look away. Every time I look at it, I'm reminded of my duty to this nation. It is in good hands, so now, so do I. Surge at the beating heart of the nation. After all, we owe a great debt to the men who led the country. From here, it's just a building. beating heart of the nation. Well said, Mr. President. Car drove past the majestic gates, continuing uphill to the entrance, stopping where his Targe got out of the car and opened the door for me. Have a great day, Mr. President. The Marga was cool. Referred to the famous Sourish phrase in the times of revolution, Amorga was core, Visran sees da, which means morning will come, victory is close. Victurn Sista. Made my way upstairs to the extravagant corridors of the palace. Marble and engraved wooden finishes decorated the interior. My footsteps echoed in the colossal halls. The guards bowed their heads in respect as I opened the massive doors to my new office. So this is Sorland. This is the Republic Lespira. Is the neighboring countries. That's so cool. So we're in the capital of Holzword. The economy is trash. Budget, wealth, news, codex. That's what we were looking at earlier. Okay, so read a report from Holzword, read a report. We have logistical issues, general staff, Office of the President of Sorlin Marine Palace, briefing the current political situation. So that's Peter, Vice President. We did an Anton Milan final all those years, zoomed in nose into the grindstone pay off. Peter's eyes sparkled, the strain of the past months had put a damper on his usual rakish charm, but the day he was looking and acting more like his old self, he loosened his tie and undid his the top two buttons of his shirt. Enjoying the new secretary I picked out for you, thought you'd appreciate her gorgeous set of talents. Okay. It's a shame the rest of your staff aren't as easy on the eyes. Good evening, PTK. He gestured to the slight paunch that's protruded over his waistband. But hey, back in university, did you ever imagine we would be sitting here in a maroon palace? We have to celebrate a great victory. Celebrate then, I got my hands on something special of us, an Elroy maroon 30-year-old. We will celebrate at the inaugural ball. Just hang in there until the evening. This is not the time to celebrate. We have work to do. Yeah, we'll celebrate the at the ball. It's the middle of the day. Why are we drinking? Looking forward to it. Elwyn hopes to congratulate you. Evelyn hopes to congratulate you in person there. Is that going to be like the seductress that's like going to be like Marmy in a sex scandal? So I'm not doing it. Never sip, guys. Good to know. I'm sure the kids would love to see their Uncle Peter. Okay, Evelyn. Never mind. Okay, I have no idea who Evelyn is. We'll see each other at the ball. Definitely. Let's move on with the meeting. Talking about political strategy for this term, Lucien and I had meeting with the party and reformists. Most to see eye to eye, but we want to know what you think. Let's go over this when... Let's see if I see eye to eye. Yeah, let's see. Ursula Omen and Lucien Lade, the chief strategist, walked in. He was a compact man with sharp, bird-like features. After briefly surveying the room from wall to wall, he sat down, poured a glass of water, and opened his briefcase in quick, graceful movements. Gentlemen, case clock. The room struck 3 o'clock. Damn, you're exactly on time. Hello, Peter. So that is Lucien, chief strategist. And toward me, he very slightly bowed his head. some sort, but yeah, the same Peter and I are waiting for him to proceed. But start with evaluating our current situation. Majority of the Swedish people, yes, I'm going to keep saying Swedish. Majority of the Swedish people demand change. They are more concerned about the economy than the constitution, but they blame the system for their problems. People are losing their trust in our democracy. Why do you think radicals like Bernard Park Circus are becoming more popular? Everyone is expecting us to bring change. The last government did not. Friends Richter, leader of the Friends, I'm going to say Friends, leader of the reformists, believes that the true change can only be accomplished by transferring some of our powers to the assembly. I will move into the details of the demands shortly. If we lose power, we will not be able to execute changes we need to make good of the country. We need to listen to the people if we want to serve this country. We need to listen to the people. It will not be easy. We need many allies against the old guard in the government. Mr. Richter managed to persuade many members of the assembly to give their support for drafting a new constitution. Reformist politicians are quickly increasing in power. While the reformist wing inside the party is still a majority, they could have a tripartisan majority in assembly, especially if they unite under Richter. Party must fall in line with our position. We cannot have a strong divide. Sure, if our party fractures is the opposition, that will benefit. Reformist demands are clear. They want to limit the president's veto powers, ensure the Supreme Court is independent, and take away the court's rights to vote on constitutional amendments. We must listen to their demands, or we can support the reformists. I agree, we cannot ignore the winds of change after all. The old guard will do its best to preserve the Constitution. Chief Justice Hawker and his allied judges have a great influence over the Supreme Court, which will be tough to break. The court also has a final say over constitutional legislation. Without their approval, we cannot even change it. We'll need a comprehensive bill to balance the power structure more fairly. We must break the power of the Supreme Court one way or another, and rather not go against them. Let's balance the power. No guard won't like this, though. Comprehensive reform that would make the reformists happy would mean maintaining a balance between all branches of government, which means removing your absolute veto power, absolute veto as well. Reformists demand that all loopholes in the Constitution are closed. Looks like we have many challenges ahead. We cannot allow obstructionists to exist, or we can't underestimate the situation. Party still holds 130 out of 250 seats in the assembly. We've got the power. However, to reform the Constitution, we must receive a 2/3 vote in the Grand National Assembly, which is 166 votes. So we're 36 votes short. And a simple majority in the Supreme Court that equates to 6 votes. So that's 12 on the Supreme Court. After we've settled on how to proceed, we will need to talk with our party figures. Our first goal must get at least 150 signatures needed to start the process. Following the green light from the USP, we'll reach out to the other party leaders to see if they would back our draft. The last step is to convince the justices of the Supreme Court. The process will take a long time, but if we start working with the Reform Committee to evaluate all possibilities for a new constitution as soon as possible. To remind a more democratic constitution with reformists, the new constitution will give the President wide-ranging powers to lead Sorlin into the future. or we can work with the old guard to protect our existing extensive powers. Let's go toward democracy. We're nationalists, but we're a democracy. It'll be tough to overspread our base if we work with Richter and his band of reformists, but everyone agrees we need a new constitution. The key thing here will be strengthening the power of the assembly, which we already lead with the majority. Peter nodded in agreement. Yes, the divisions of power we need to be rebalanced for a better Sorlin, and according to the initial draft we made with the reformists, there are 2 challenges to the Constitution that are not open for discussion. Opening dossier. First, the Supreme Court will no longer vote on constitutional amendments. How would you rate the game? I would rate it like a 5 right now. You know, not too bad, not too good. A lot of dialogue. Lot of dialogue. But pretty sure like the gameplay is gonna start picking up. Second, the Supreme Court, the president's absolute veto power will be taken away. This could be replaced with a limited veto system by fixing the current loopholes. I have no problem with these clauses. Let's work with the reformists, or rather not include either of these points. 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Let's go ahead and do it. Yes, sir. Nodded. We'll form a reform committee together with all parties and start reaching out to stakeholders in assembly and court for a new constitution. Later in the year, we will have an idea of the reform contents and what the other parties want. Another important point, we must be aware of the Lotharberg Group. The oligarchs convene under this organization to influence economic policies. Conrad led it for a long time before falling ill. The new leader is Walter Tusk. The millionaire businessman. Yeah, Tusk. Totally not a millionaire. According to the report, some of the members of the National Business Council are in their pockets. Tusk and the group will surely bribe us in exchange for special economic protections. I want to work with them anyway. The new administration will be open to talk with businessmen. I won't be bought. It won't happen. I'll enter dialogue with them eventually. We need to be diplomatic, or we won't let these privileged, greedy, snobby capitalists run the country. We'll surely try to bribe us in exchange for us. Okay, so they're gonna try to bribe us. I won't be bought. Alfonso said the same thing. I doubt there was anybody else to turn to in his case. As far as I know, Coronti, some strong ties to his group. His influence could definitely be an asset for us, but I'm sure he'll want something in return. I'm aware of the Conti's wide network, but that could come in handy. We just need to be careful with him. He looks like a lesser evil, but could very quickly turn out the other way around. We need to tread carefully on all sides with the power players to survive our term. We need to underline the seriousness of the situation. Military and the general staff are a powerful element in the state, and as history tells us, dangerous ones too. We do have some room to make structural changes by reducing their budget, for example, but it's quite limited. I want to receive the advice of the military before making up my mind, so I don't want to die in prison. With the Runeberg threatening our horizon, we can't reduce our defense capability and anger our general staff. Military has been nothing but a burden on our society. We must do something drastic, like cutting their funding. Bonus received the advice. Sound to listen to them, but they are very biased in their opinions. Patriotism cloud their mind. Does patriotism not cloud your mind? General Kruger is a specter of the past. Defense Minister. Oh God, he looks like an egg. Otherwise, I see a potential rift between the two, since they are clearly on different minds. If they act strongly against the military, both of those guys will unite against us. I agree with the Lucian. We need to tread carefully here. I like that as watch. Well, gentlemen, precisely 30 minutes. This concludes our political briefing for today. Our next meeting will be about our media strategy. Talk to you soon. I'll keep in touch. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Notes, country overview, economy. I want to look at that first. Current situation, weak transportation links, unemployment crisis, tax evasion, decreased trade volume, bourgeois, economy plummeting, and in England, stagnated production. So let's look at a production. Military welfare order, diplomacy, current situations, corruption, illegal immigration, organized crime, diplomacy, Runeberg, expansionism. So where's Runeberg? Where is they? Wetland, Runeberg. So it's the big one to the north. Runeberg is a vast kingdom located in the cold north of Maricopa. Territorial issues surrounding the country give it a bad reputation as a people. Runebergians are loyal, proud, stubborn. Centuries they have clashed with the southern kingdoms due to their disadvantageous geographic position. The kingdom has grand global ambitions, but lacks key resources to fulfill them. They have 121 million people. Constitutional monarchy. 793 billion RQs. Military is overwhelming and relations are very bad. Here's a lot more history on it, but I'm not going to read that out. And so, what about, I see some notes. Remember important points throughout the story. Oh, that's nice. You can turn off COVID if you like. Oh. So just started playing PNR 2020. COVID mechanics really something to get used to. Yeah, they are. We don't want to take notes right now. Country overview. Law. Current situations, court backlog, limited women's rights, the Bullish problem, judicial rivalry, some human rights, and freedom of the press. It was mostly free right of communication and expression through the media. Active policies. So I guess I guess we can do new policies as they come up instead of just like read a report from Lush Fun. Increasing homelessness. Prime Minister Alvarez congratulated you for the results and spoke about his hopes to have a beneficial partnership in the future. He sent his best wishes to search people and learned about the threats of encroaching influence of United Katona. So like, yeah, socialists coming to power. So he gave me his congratulations. Looks like we have another congratulations. with Sorland. It's a very interesting concept right here. Like, I kind of like it. It's just kind of like different. It's very different. Most of these are just, I guess, going to be talking about, yep, mostly talking about geopolitico. Remember coming south. Foreign policy analysts who are reviewing the recent aggressive military and diplomatic developments in Rumberg have come to the conclusion it's highly likely that Rumberg will keep trying to push further south, threatening the territories of Sorland, Wayland, and possibly Agnolia. The annexation of Dome many decades ago was just the beginning of Rumberg seeking be on a quest to secure all strategic resources in East Copa. So you have more cities up in the north, low production. Let's go ahead and try to see where it's called to attention the alarming low levels of productivity growth in Agland, where there are also high rates of food insecurity, malnutrition, and rural poverty in inner region. Lack of investment. The mayor of Albury reports a lack of adequate investment. Meanwhile, reporting around 19% of the company's total expenditures in Agland is absorbed by logistical costs. On peer regions, this figure is below 10%. Go back to the capital, see what we've got. Logistical issues. Let's go ahead and address that. That's just a newspaper. Rising population and fast urban expansion has resulted in high levels of congestion into city traffic. You're playing an anti-communist? I am. We're a nationalist. We're not a communist. Meeting on the media strategy, briefing on the current economic situation. Let's go ahead and do that. There's room in Maroon Palace where all important meetings were held. So this is between the Minister of Economy, Minister of Rural Development, and the Minister of the Interior. Just as arrived, carrying heavy projector, they stood with it by the door, waiting for the ministers to enter. Corbin. From a hallway, I heard Leia's Graf's voice. She was using the patient, almost motherly tone she often took in heated arguments. Gus, do you really think that such an economically advanced area is more in need of investment than Agland? So we already looked at that situation in Agland. Yeah, so that's up in the north. So we're going to try to concentrate on that, depending on what the minister is telling me about. Don't be an idiot. What about the unemployment crisis in Greater Holzland and Glesund? So let's look. So that's going to be central, where the capital is. I think. Right next to the capital. There's another one just north of that. These areas are economic heartland. He hurled his hands in a fist. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development's temper hadn't changed since the days of in the Alfonso administration, but neither had his reputation for getting things done. His far-reaching network of connections was unlike any other. Simeon Hole, as the Minister of Economy, quickly stepped between the two ministers without looking at either of them. He cleared his throat. Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, everyone. Will the government of Sorland give out free helicopter tours? Oh man, PTK, what the hell? I'm very well motivated, Mr. Rain. It seems like our ministers are feeling the same. I'm gonna run for office one day and they're gonna look back on my YouTube channel and just go, why is he laughing about helicopter tours? And we're gonna look into that and go, oh, okay. Very well motivated, Mr. Rain. It seems our ministers are feeling the same, just as expected. How is everyone, Gus and Lias? Very clearly see that. What is this discussion about? Great to hear. Let's begin. How's it going? Sarcastically. Oh, good, although there seems to be a lot of work that requires attention. That's Goose. Goose, so that's rural development. Especially about lifting people out of poverty, certainly a challenge. I'm feeling very confident about the current state of affairs. We've already begun restructuring local governments and introducing new safety measures. Off to a good start. Good, I am confident in your abilities. If there's anything you need help with, reach out to me. Guys, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you guys like this game and you want to see more SUZERAIN, tell me and leave a comment down below. Of course, Mr. President, good to know. Thank you, Mr. President. We'll now like to show you the latest economic situation. Simon pulled out a silk handkerchief out of his pockets, briefly wiped his glasses. I just gave unemployment jobs to your companies, which solve the unemployment and social conflict. Win-win. My staff and I have comprehensively analyzed every aspect of. He was interrupted by a groan from one of the assistants by the door, both of whom were now visibly struggled to hold up a heavy projector. Oh, you can put it. Oh, you can put that there. God, getting interrupted. So this was Tarquin Soul. He was the guy that was the colonel. Hey, finally keep up the good work, Mr. Chopsticks. Welcome to the live stream. And again, guys, cannot believe that we have 5,000 subscribers. That is amazing. The assistant placed the projector next to the table and installed a white screen on the wall. Yeah, you didn't do that before. Executed. Leave now. I mean, thank you. Please leave now. Okay. Hey. You're not the president here. The assistants left the cabinet room, but I was reminded that Simon never quite had a way with people. Yeah, I can tell. But this facility with the numbers had made him the most sought-after economic specialist in Sorland. Well, I guess we have to deal with it. Simon started looking for his slides. He always carried documentation around with him. Wait. Simon, what happens to the new police station construction in Sword? It's a city. Region is it in? Go to location. Can't. While looking through his briefcase, he paused for a moment to answer. He got stalled due to government property boundary issue. I've been meaning to look at it. That said, that was Simon. Okay. I can take a look at that one. S-Sword needs all the security help it can get. Sure. More time for me to spend on analyses. His eyes glittered when he finally found the slides that he were looking for. There have been some developments about the Swordish Wren losing further value today. We have been trying to stabilize it with the central bank. Apparently we have a central bank. The recession of 51 put enormous pressure on the economy, resulting in a collapse of the value of our currency. The entire situation was a significant cause of concern for our administration. Since economics is your forte, Mr. Rain, it is possible that you may already be aware of the data. I can still explain the current economic situation in better detail. What is our GDP TET, unemployment and inflation rates, and what is the status of the recession? Yeah, let's look at the unemployment and inflation. Unemployment has skyrocketed, is now reaching a staggering 16%, and the inflation is at a relative high of 7%. Unemployment is increasing, crime and drug use. We need to get people off the streets. The inflation isn't helping our average citizen either. What is our GDP and debt situation? Current GDP is 310 billion Swordish Wren. International debt is 427 billion, so it's more than 100%. It's so hard to fathom that we lost nearly 150 billion in wealth. The past 3 years were tough. What is the status of the recession? The economy has been in recession for about -6% in the past year. The average GDP has dropped to 15,454 per capita. Rens, Sortish Rens per capita, 15,000 to 10,000 from 1951 to now. The administration's successes depends on our ability to stop the recession. The sooner we can reach GDP growth, the better. A lot of information. The sooner we can reach GDP growth, the better. Move on to the economic strategy. Simon scattered the paper stack. If you guys have played this game before, by the way, I would like for you to kind of like avoid telling me what to do. I've never played this game before. I literally had no information on this game, so I'm trying to kind of do this on my own. I would love chat to interact. React to things as they happen. Tell me what you guys think about the situation, etc. But if you have gameplay tips, I would like you to refrain from doing that for right now, because I've never played this before. I had a couple of, I asked some gameplay tips at first, and then I was just kind of like, I'm actually going to kind of do this on my own. Primary subject we need to settle on is that what general path we will take in our term. Stellonomics, based on nationalization, happened in the 30s. And Alfonso's privatization began in the end of the 40s. What will our administration focus on? One of our main promises was to promote a free market economy to stop the recession. But frankly, I believe it is the only way out of the recession. That's the Minister of the Economy. I still do not support it. Why promote the private sector when we have a qualified state-owned enterprises? Because the lack of competition has made them inefficient. Simon nodded. It's 2-1 right now. Humanity in the 20th century is thriving because of the world's supply of demand. What are the downsides of the planned economy? More of the economy we control, the better we can manage. Let's go with what policy you want to implement. Be yourself, basically. That's what I've been doing. What are the consequences of free market? There are not many, but one could say we are much more likely to be influenced by the world economy. It's important to think that this subject, because upswings of the world economy will reflect good on ours too. Yes, when the global economy crashes, we go down with it. Structural problems of Solonomics were going to lead to a recession, according to the predictions at the time anyway. Either way, if we pick one of our doctrines, we can retain the option to make economic choices on a case-by-case basis. That's basically how I want to go by. Have you face revealed yet? Yes, I have. Many times, actually. Apparently my camera's on. I just noticed. It's kind of funny. If you actually look at my 5,000 subscriber live stream yesterday, I actually did face cam. And I've actually done plenty of face cams before, like especially after like I first started to say, hey, let's get the 5,000 in. By the way, DC Perspective, great to see you in the stream. Let me actually do something for you right here. Added you as a moderator. I know you're not here often, but going to be something both for you. There's another important point which has direct impact on our economy: superpowers. Haha. I'm gonna just hang out and do some cleaning. Yeah, that's actually what I was doing before I went live. That's what I'm gonna be doing after I get off of live. I've been streaming for about an hour. Economy speaking, we are much more closer to Arcasia than United Cantana. So the decision in line with the West makes more sense. Let's be very cautious. There are games being devised about Sorland. We cannot give in to their wants or in the future. Otherwise, our country will turn into a pawn. We want you to reconsider your promise to align. As a Minister of the Interior. Entering the sphere of Arcasia will help boost our economy in many ways. They are wealthy and influential. Well, let Arcasia control Sorely. Control? No, Mr. President, simply a partnership. A very valuable one at that. Simply untrue. Oh, yeah, they're arguing now. When the time comes, I hope you will make the right decision for our own good. Simon, clear to start again. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Minister Wasey will be in charge of the informing you of these types of foreign policy decisions. We must first decide on our internal economic plan. Yeah, we're talking about foreign policy in an economic meeting, so like we don't have our Minister of Foreign Affairs here, so I don't know why they're arguing about foreign affairs. We have to thank Seoul and his planned economy for the boom. It clearly showed the success of the system. Let's finish what Alfonso started with the capitalist free market reforms. His path was going to enrich Sorland, and what is our long-term economic schedule? Would a free market focus bring us stronger allies? To finish what Alfonso started. Recession was a direct result of his free market reforms. History must note that the reason for the recession was because Alfonso was betrayed by his party. Yeah, I was one of the guys that betrayed him. It's not true. There was simply plenty of time for him to do it. If you can't make change happen in 2 years, then you are at fault. What's on our long-term economic schedule? Picking a construction company, trade relations, tax reform, and privatization initiatives be some of them. Sticking to a solid planned economy strategy will be the right call from our Minister of Interior. 5-year plans were fruitful in the past. The free market focus bring us stronger allies. And make Arcasia look at our country in a more positive light. There are proponents of the free market economy. The influence of Arcasia was the world economy is extensive. Our economic strategy would be based on internal reasoning, though. Let's move on. What are your final thoughts on then? What are your final thoughts then, Mr. President? So we have critical institutions must remain in state control. Or we should look at opportunities like privatization to create financial resources. A market economy doesn't require as much guidance and would help us attract foreign capital, and it is hard to fully agree or disagree with these opinions. It's like a lot of options here that is just gonna like basically like make me just Jimmy Carter this country into the ground. Do that which will kill the most people. I'm going down like a nationalist capitalist focus, apparently. And also, just so you guys can see, let's go ahead and do this because I guess DC hasn't noticed some of the videos that I made. I'm gonna do something real quick. transition this over. Wow, this brightness is just so low. I don't know why. Fall to the dark side. Don't fall to the dark side. Why is the... I don't even know why the... Hang on. Okay, transition that over. Trying to fix something real quick. Then... So since DC has never seen this, I think that works. But hello, this is what I look like. What are your thoughts? I'm gonna go through a couple decisions. And great financial resources. Capital. Foreign capital means foreign cultures, which would include the great and glorious Republic of Sorland with their blue jeans and rock and roll. You like Marky Mark? Actually, I've never listened to Marky Mark. I don't know why my camera kind of looks weird, by the way. Like, I was trying to fix it, and I guess like, it looked fine last night, but it didn't look like this before. I don't know why. Yeah, it looks really, like, the coloration is really weird. I'm not orange. I kind of look like Donald Trump right now. This is exactly the mentality. There are many possibilities that are waiting, like education or health privatization. It would be better to promote a market economy for these to have consistency in our plan. So what our general economic plan promotes? Promote a free market economy as we promised, or promote a planned economy. Cam on the bottom left. I mean, there's nothing on the bottom right. Like where the camera is right now, there's like nothing there. I'm gonna go ahead and promote. Can't say that I agree with this, says the Interior Minister. Playlist looks pleased. Yeah, I bet. Same place. Oh, same place as the character profile. Oh, okay. This concludes our meeting. At the next gathering, we will talk about upcoming infrastructure investment plan. I can't wait for that. We have a lot of stuff going on. Reports from Sarner promising agricultural growth. Hey, that's good. Additionally, farmers are now accessing more generous credit allowances from the government that were left over from the Alfonso administration. The Minister of Agriculture reports that the region's agriculture industry has potential to become a powerhouse in the future if investment persists. Then increasing homelessness increased to 25%. Based face. Hell yeah. Apparently my face is based, even though it's so bright outside. Hang on, let me try to see if I can fix this one more time. You guys are gonna see me messing with... Yeah, like I don't understand why my... Yeah, you see how dark that is? Saturation. Like I'm trying to mess with the You are red. Yeah, like literally, it's. I think it's my camera. Like it has to be my camera. You can even see me messing with it right now, and it's like, oh no, like I'm gonna not like the brightness is just unless it's because I don't have a light in front of me. Maybe it's because of yeah. Maybe it's because of that. But I mean, that kind of looks a little bit better. It looks a little better, but it's also kind of out of focus. Low light compensation. No. Yeah, I don't know. But that kind of looks better. That actually looks a little bit better. Okay, let's go back. Yeah, I have a light like literally right in front of me. It's like a big ass light strip on top of all my political posters. Um, and that one stopped working because it's like one of those ones that you can kind of like control with your voice. So I'm trying to get that fixed, and then once I get that fixed, then I'll have like lighting literally right in front of me. Yeah, that actually does look a little bit better than it did before. Yeah. Infrastructure recession led to reduction in rail assets, with more than a fifth of the rail network itself acquainted being mothballed into recent years, while the main lines of the network are currently in service, increasing demands of goods from hills or to the capital. Looks less red, yes. Invest in mega infrastructure. Okay, so here's a decision. Minister of Economy has put forward two bold plans for mega infrastructure projects that would help with the economic recession in the long term. Investing in projects of this scale will take a portion of our budget, but it could also prove worthwhile if accomplished successfully. What is our budget? We have 3. Invest in mega infrastructure project, which is -1 government budget, or reject the plans. Let's go ahead and invest into the infrastructure plan. Would you rather be CEO of Exxon in 2002 or vote for Cory Bush for president? Where are you saying Exxon, or are you talking about Enron? Because Exxon bought Enron in 2002 after they filed for bankruptcy. So I think you're talking about Enron. Increasing unemployment for 2024 hard. Ugh. Yeah, Corbyn versus DC perspective. That is a debate I would pay to see. Read a report. Port of Lush Fun is no longer the busiest. Maricopa. I like how Maricopa literally just makes me think of Maricopa County. DC. Yeah. This is like the first time I've seen you in one of my streams in a while. Corbyn is actually a city councilman for Overland, Missouri, which is a suburb of St. Louis. I actually had him on my podcast last week, I think. Major report will hopefully keep supporting a possible economic upturn in the country if the investment projects succeed. We just did. That has to revitalize our economy. Suggestion of the potential infrastructure projects. Okay, let's go ahead. View towards Markian. God, I'm gonna get in trouble for how badly I'm. Oh yeah, it's the good old trio again. Half an hour had already passed since the start of the meeting. Unfortunately, I did not even have a chance to my usual afternoon coffee. Oh man. Mr. President, we need you to focus on boosting the economy as quickly as possible. One of the fastest ways to achieve this is through infrastructure projects. What can we focus on? Very straightforward. Good leader. It's always straightforward. On the other hand, businessmen are complaining about the slow logistical rail network between Holzord and Lashvern. These are cities. So that's the capital in this big city that we're at right now. Lelis started talking as soon as Simon took breath. On the other hand, citizens are criticizing the lack of proper highway connection between Lashaven and Arbori. Narrow roads by the seaside are not only dangerous but also difficult to traverse. We need to heed the calls of businesses. We need to pick the most profitable option for the economic growth, and citizens and their demands matter the most. Citizens are criticizing. Citizens and their demands matter the most. Their demands are just the dire situation of the road infrastructure cannot be neglected. The return investment will be lower. Concern should be economic growth. That's Goose, which is Goose Road Development. I'd rather listen to my Minister of Economy whenever it comes to most profitable. It's not the business people that suffer, but the ordinary folk. We accomplish something tangible in our first economic act. We should improve the economy of the nation and bring it out of recession, or we must improve our administrative capabilities. People must know that this administration can get things done. Administrative capabilities. Therefore, I define two important projects for your attention: the H3 highway project and the L1 highway high-speed rail project. Corbin says, sure, on one condition, you admit you're wrong before we begin. Spoken like a true progressive. Spoken like a true progressive. The ministry can only support one project at a time with the current capacity and budget. Let's move on to the details of each. So which one do you want to hear about first? Let's do the highway. H3 Highway aims to improve the abysmal state of the road network in England region. So that's going to be the northern region bordering Agnolia. Agnolia, I think, is to the north. Yeah. The area is home to several million Agno-Sordish and Sordish feel neglected. There are no proper highway connections to and from Agnoland. Mayor of Arbori, Eric Neal, has been asking for a bigger budget to develop the regional infrastructure. He told us that even trucks are having a hard time traveling through the main roads. The increased traffic is causing trouble for people commuting in and out of the region. Can't leave the request party member unanswered. That must be cumbersome for the citizens. I agree. This could also hurt local businesses. I didn't know Corbin had a Twitter. Does he have a Twitter? I think he only has a Facebook. Oh, yep. See, the brightness goes down again. Just like a dark, need to put like some kind of like thing right here where it's just like, or I could just get like a tarp again and just put it over my window. That way it's like, whenever I'm streaming, especially since my stream is like, my camera's like right next to a window. Plus their souls, I'm happy we're thinking alike on the matter. Ah! Look at the map. He's pointing at Mashab. So yeah, it's a big city that we're looking at right here. The Asia Highway starts here, leads to Lenkberg. So we lead over here. Huh? From here, it goes all the way to Avori. So it would go lead up here, then over here. As a result, the road network towards the Agnolian capital, Stallport, will improve substantially. She paused and leaned forward in her chair. I saw the central government continuously neglect the Agno-Sordish dominated regions when I was mayor. Is this administration going to continue that kind of negligence? We should no longer neglect the key region for a trade with Agnolia. No, I am late, but I have congratulations for 5,000. All right, I'm gonna head out to talk to you later. All right, DC, again, if you want to have me on that podcast of yours, I'm looking forward to that. I haven't really heard anything about it, but I'm sure. I actually haven't seen any new episodes of it, so I'm pretty sure you've been busy with other things. So. Agno-Sordish citizens be respected. Swords all like us. Anyone that is a citizen of this country, a citizen. Let's be pointed out the high would be less beneficial in the near term. Why do you look 30 and 15 at the same time? Oh, wow. Under trade talks with Agnolia, they would see the investment as a positive sign. Let me hear the other project. Predecessor Alfonso has failed to deliver on his campaign promise, but now we have the opportunity to start the construction of a groundbreaking railway project. So we go ahead and transition this over, since it's not the best time right now to have a camera on. Go ahead and turn the camera off. Just wanted to show DC my face. New electric engine technology to power up their trains. We fall one step behind. News about this in United Cantana has peaked. This interest there too wants to transport resources and material from Holzlord to Lashvan with great speed and efficiency. Obtain the high quality technology of superpowers. This could also empower the businesses and bring investments. Major cities of Sorlin need more investments to support their growing population. I'm not fully convinced. Major cities need more infrastructure to support the growing population. Should be our priority: growth and development optimization. Our plan is to upgrade the old L1 line from Holzord to Lashvan. It will transform to a high-speed rail. Look at the map. Holzord to Lashvan. Is that Shavin? Pointing out Holzord, which is the capital. This is going to be Holzord. Shavin, so yeah, the city we're at right now. So it connect. When construction starts here, we're at the capital. It'll go to Enrica first. Then connect to Gelzord. That is like me trying to build a high-speed rail in Power and Revolution. which it will regionally run, our economic powerhouse. Significantly boost the economy on newly linked cities and even the rural areas in between. Lashvan was our primary port, so goods unloaded there will be transported to Holzord much faster. Yes, we should link the rural areas in the middle with the major cities. I believe this would benefit the businesses and the whole Sorland as a whole, and investments in already developed regions makes a little sense. It's Saddam Hussein over here. I just like every PG videos. Motivation, right? Corbyn secretly hates PoliticsGaming. Talking about the wealthiest regions, forgetting about England, but she needs it much more. And the mayor of Enrica also requested this project to be prioritized. Of course. Businessmen in the region will be very content, which increases investments and employment. Therefore, I will recommend the L1 Highway Rail project as the Minister of the Economy. I've settled on a decision. What would be your final choice? Okay, so pros and cons here. If we do the highway project, this is me talking to y'all now. If we do the highway project, that's like long-term growth. It's also going to develop our northern region. But if we do the high-speed rail project, as much of a high-speed rail fanatic that I am, the thing is that the area that it's connecting between is already developed. The only thing is that it's going to help trade between, because I mean we didn't really hear that much between. We didn't really hear that much. You know, the port is just having a hard time like revitalizing itself. So both of these are supposed to kind of like revitalize it, but then there's a lot more economic opportunity that's going to open up in the north if we do this. I think we're going to do the highway. It's going to piss off a lot of businessmen and especially the Minister of the Economy. Highway project. I've decided on an H-tier highway project to improve the infrastructure in the rural regions. Thank God I knew that you would see reason. Negotiation will begin in the middle of this year. See? He's humble. You'll be able to award the contract to a corporation of your choice. Industry estimates that the entire construction will finish in 2 years by the end of our term, if every step going forward is executed successfully. Thank you all for contributions and thoughts. See you soon, Mr. Rain. Have a nice day. Evening settled on the beautiful coastline of Leshaven. There's a highway now being built all the way up to Lenkerg, and then all the way up to Avery. So the reason I settled on that decision is because it's basically like there's already a railway that's doing this, but it's going to it's like a highway rail line that's going to connect over to Enrica, over to Gelsord, and then all the way over to Leshaven. And then Leshaven, you know, is a dying port. But the thing about it is that was also a lot of like underdeveloped roads. See this road right here? So I guess the red is going to be like actual highways. So there's already like actual highways that are right here. But all of this is underdeveloped. No highways up here. So I'm thinking that it's going to be a better investment if we help our northern region start to develop. Because I mean, I saw a couple of things up here that, especially in the Laron region, like, I mean, we could do it. We could literally ignore this region because they are more Agnolian. But then, if there is an invasion by the Rumbergs, the Rumbergians, then we'll also have this area kind of developed in preparation for that. Congratulations. Congratulations. People's views on the need for democratic reform in the government structure has changed over the last decade. Rumors propaganda from the leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party resulted in massive increases in demands for democratic reforms. It's estimated that currently 55% of the population supports the reformist ideas. So I think we are going down that area. General staff gathers. All branches of Swordist Armed Forces were represented in a meeting that took place at Camp Strongarm. Massive security measures. In a press release increasing the chances of military confrontation in East Propa, and requested support to strengthen the military. And meeting with the media strategy, because we have one more big meeting to go through. We've been streaming for about nearly 2 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this up after this. And then we can continue this on if you guys want me to. Holy crap, we have had 250 views on this video. I did not notice how many people have been watching this. It's like the most views I've gotten on a live stream in a while. Again, guys, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Could actually continue this on. People actually really like this. I didn't notice the amount of popularity that this stream has gotten. Herodotus has always been known. He was the oldest son, industrialist and media mogul who founded the HOS. That is the Heart of Sorlin Conglomerate, a multi-industry corporation worth tens of billions of SUZERAIN Wrens. We'll just call them Wrens. Part of the Big Four, the 4 largest companies in Sorlin. Lucian turned to me. So this is between my chief strategist and vice president. He's offered to meet with you, Mr. President. What does he want? What does he want? After the passing of his father, he may rest in peace. Aims to become the CEO of the HOS conglomerate. Mentioned productive collaboration. There are powerful and influential media conglomerates. Start with they own the Sorlin Today newspaper, the Sorlin Broadcasting Corporation, and which means that it would be wise to have them by our side. Sorry for interrupting. What does this productive collaboration entail? I do not wish to explain the details over the phone, but rather in person. I believe I will be receiving a call from him sometime soon. However, as Peter said, that there is substantial power over the content and media outlets, headlines, radio shows. That is what he would be offering. What he wants in return is what we need to understand. Let's not let it get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, we need to determine our general approach to the media. I'm no media expert, but Lucian made some very interesting arguments at the preparation meeting yesterday. There are 2 ways in approach to media. One of them is by influencing it, just clear advantages. The other is keeping it independent. Media must be independent. The media is a tool to be used. It's always been independent. Let's go ahead and keep it independent for right now. Ideally, yes, but an unpopular leader will not always be able to pass even the easiest reforms. It is of utmost importance to maintain public popularity and avoid any damaging scandals or mistakes. I must stress one thing, Mr. President. more people we have supporting our agenda, the more we can accomplish. Someone easily on our side in an influential media organization, we can do this very easily. See where we're getting at. Two wrongs don't make a right, and I share your opinion. I see where you're getting at. Well, I assumption there will be scandals and mistakes. We can always hope for the best, but we do think that but do we really think that nothing can go wrong? Especially considering the very recent history of sort of knocks that are heard on the door. Let's come in. First Secretary Livia Suno entered the office. Her dark curls bounced as she crossed into the room to the desk. She spoke with a slight lit in her voice. Excuse me, Mr. President. Mr. Galate's secretary has been calling me and wanting me to relay a message. Marcel Coronti, new CEO of HOS Conglomerate, is on the line for Mr. Galate. Well, balls are in our court now. Would you like to talk to him, sir, or would you like me to? I'll talk to him. Right away, sir. Connecting call to line 1. Livia left the room and the phone started ringing. Pick up the phone. President speaking. It's an honor, Mr. President. That's the guy. Marcel Coronti, CEO of HOS. Now your time is valuable, so I'll not waste any of it. I was just elected CEO of HOS. My strategy in the long run, running this conglomerate will be different than my father's approach. This is why I'm offering a partnership deal regarding our media branch. I would like to informally invite you to my resort near Conrayet for a meeting to discuss the details. What does that entail? Our future as partners, Mr. President. Surely we cannot talk about the details on the phone. I just wish to have a face-to-face conversation with you. Send the details to my secretary if you're interested. So if I do it, then, you know, I'm not gonna have to worry about you know, scandals for right now. But if I don't do it, then, you know, I'm not gonna have the media on my side. Let's look. I'm here silently judging your every decisions. I've never played this game. I've never played it. Never played this game before, so you can judge me all you want. Let's throw him a bone, I guess, for right now. Let's throw him a bone, see what we can get. We will not be disappointed. Return you to your pack schedule. See you soon. Judge you regardless. Yeah, whatever. I'll set things up right away, especially a worthwhile meeting next month. Next month? Settled and looking forward to next month. I wonder if he has a pool. Yeah, that's all he's worried about. It appears we're done for today. We'll continue where we left off. Thank you for your time. Good work. Marcel, keep it up. Before gathering their documents and leaving my office, we're already getting the attention of key figures and potentially dangerous ones. Yeah. Tech. Campaign finance bill. Sign or veto the election campaign finance bill that was approved by the National Assembly. Party committee reports for that, and reports that any potential change to Constitution and the direction reformers will elect result in strong opposition from the National Front Party. That is a nationalist, ultra-conservative political party in Sorlin, which currently is the second biggest opposition party in the National Assembly. It is led by Kesaro Kibir. The NFP was established in 1930 by a group of young nationalists, including Kibinur, the city of Jen. The party mainly focused on ethnic nationalist political agenda with aggressive and threatening campaigns throughout the 30s. Yeah, that sounds familiar. which made it to be perceived as an extremist party, but later moderated its views under the leadership of Kibner, who took over the leadership of the party in 1949. 53 elections, the NFP gained the best results in its history, becoming the third largest party in history. Members in the National Assembly, such as the direction, seem in great numbers and possibly make up the majority in the Grand National Assembly. So right again, I can see the numbers of the National Assembly. I don't think there is. What about the journal? Except that a privately meet with the new CEO of HOS. Privately, yeah. I'm definitely not going to get, like, ripped for that. So let's do this campaign finance bill. Grand National Assembly of the Republic of Sorlin at the first session began and held in the city of Ulzord. Electoral campaign finance bill. The criteria for the allocation of public funds shall no longer be according to the number of votes won in the general election by political party. The new criteria shall be the portion of the seats won by a political party in the assembly. Political parties shall receive an annual amount of 500,000 ren per member of the assembly. Results in doubling of the USP. This results in a doubling of the USP election budget, a slight decrease in the other parties in the assembly, while effectively removing all funding from parties that are below the 10% election threshold. Criteria for the allocation of public funds shall no longer be according to the number of votes won in the general election. It will be the proportion of seats won by a political party. So the proportion, not the number of votes. Thinking. Sign it. Cover panel to be recent electoral funding bill passed by the government cuts public election funding for parties that did not enter the assembly while doubling the USP funding. I guess that benefits us. That'll be fun. Like karma is a thing. OMEC, Organization for Mercopin Economic Cooperation, then the AN, the Alliance of Nations, a global organization that maintains peace, security, and cooperation among nations. Current situations include Roomberg expansionism and the lack of allies. How can I get allies? Can I oh, yes. 79. So what's Sorlin? Let me look at Sorlin. Locations. Invest in Arcasian company stocks and opportunity to buy stocks in an Arcasian company. You can invest or let the opportunity pass. And we're gonna not invest. No conflicts of interest. Settings, save and exit, load to the last checkpoint. Local overview. We have the legend. Oh, here it is. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so USB has 130 seats. The PFJP, that is the People's Freedom and Justice Party, and the NFP, they have 70 seats, 40 seats, and then the Independents have 10 seats, respectively. Speaker of the Grand National Assembly is Gloria Torrey. And then the Judiciary, it is 11 seats on the Supreme Court. We have an old guard, which is Orso Hawker. We have 5 old guards, 3 centrists, and 3 reformists. And factions, the old guard. We have the cabinet. Very interesting game. Very interesting. I actually am really excited to play this again. Reception at the inaugural ball. We're going to go ahead and stop right here. We have been streaming for about 2 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and stop right here, and we'll continue a SUZERAIN at a later time. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We had over 250 views on this video. I didn't expect that this video would get a lot of views. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I want to thank DC Perspective for also joining us earlier. Corbin, thank you so much for joining us today. AMN, Mr. Chopsticks, ZK. I'm pretty surprised you guys are literally just kind of watching. It's kind of like the one time where I'm just like, I actually don't really care about a chat interactability. It's actually more about gameplay. But yeah, guys, if you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you guys want to see more content like this, hit the bell notification icon, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for helping me hit 5,000 subscribers. That's an amazing goal that I cannot believe we hit yesterday on July 4th, the greatest day of the year. GG, subscribe to PewDiePie. Ho ho. But yeah, guys, again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'll see you guys in the next gameplay of SUZERAIN.